your story is just like the story of not first love, but my love now.
Yes.
All right. English teacher turned tech teacher.
Yes.
They say the reward of a teacher is in heaven, but I choose not to agree. And I, Oyindalara, have decided to take laws into my hands by ensuring that teachers enjoy heaven on earth. And by this, welcome to the first episode of Teacher Spotlight Show with Oyindalara, where I'll be bringing and introducing to you amazing teachers who are doing exceptionally well in their various fields. My guest for today is an amazing English teacher, a salsa dance instructor, a training consultant, a principal education officer at Lagos State Teaching Service Commission in Lagos State, and is also a recipient of the Lagos State Teachers Merit Award. Finally, he's recently just been awarded as the second best teacher in his education district. That's Education District 1. So you can see that this person I'm talking about, is not just anybody. So ladies and gentlemen, by the power vested on me, please make welcome Mr. Babajide Olanrewaju, I guess for today.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine,
Thank you very much for agreeing to do this with me and for being my first guest on the show.
Thank you for having me on here.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. You're my organ now, so please let the pleasure be mine. So let's get started today.
Okay.
Why teaching? Of all profession, as a man, why teaching?
Okay, ma'am, let me start like this. I remembered some few years ago, I did not want to become a teacher because I didn't study education in the university.
Okay.
I studied English and literary studies.
Okay.
And I think my focus was maybe working in a bank as a customer, relation officer,
Yes.
or being maybe a communicator in a, maybe working in a radio station.
Radio
or TV
station.
But along the line, I started the job hunt. And I remember the last one that led me to teaching. I applied for the Navy, as Nigerian Navy. Yes.
You did a lot.
Yes, I did. So at that point, after the application, we went for the exams. I was hoping to get the response, but at that time I had nothing doing. So I scouted around my area for any job I could do. So I saw a teaching job. They needed an English language teacher. And I told God something. I said, God, I'll be coming back 2 weeks after. If this job is not taken, then it means you want me to take up this job.
Sure.
Lo and behold, 2 weeks after, the job was not taken. Imagine. So I went in, and that same day I was given the job. And so that's how my journey started into teaching. I knew this was going to be, where God wanted me to explore, in my career. So that's how I started teaching. Okay.
So your story is just like the story of not first love, but my love now.
Yes.
Now, how do you make learning engaging and memorable for your students, considering that you're a dance instructor? Aside dancing, how do you make learning engaging for your students?
Okay, thank you, Oyinda. So I, like you said, I'm a dancing teacher. I like dancing, and I know dance is one of my loves. I said loves.
Maybe your love language.
Not love, I said loves. Now, okay. I try to incorporate technology in my class. Okay. I believe that we are teaching 21st century students.
Yes.
And these students are generation alpha.
Yes,
students.
Not even Gen Z.
Not Gen Z anymore, meaning that they are digital natives. They were giving birth to at this time where technology
is now the talk of town.
Thank you. So I come to class with a lot of technology gadgets. For example, sometimes I want to teach sounds, and I know sometimes I'm not a
native speaker.
Thank you. Or should I say I don't speak English as my mother tongue. So sometimes I still have that interference as a second language speaker. Of course. So I will come to class with my Bluetooth speaker. I would not be the one to facilitate that class for that day. So on YouTube, we have a lot of material. So I might play some of it. Then at some point, I might need to pause the video, then get feedback from the students to see that they are getting it. Then also, sometimes I do what I call meditation. Now, this meditation is not yoga kind of meditation.
Okay.
But in a way, I play positive, inspirational, short videos in the class to help motivate them before class starts. Because I know students are unique, and every one of them, in a way, have different potentials. And we need to be able to explore those potentials, not just the cognitive alone, the affectual,
we have psychomotor.
Yes, but all potentials must be explored. So I use this as a means of, connecting with them since they are digital natives. And sometimes I come in with laptops. Someone would say, how do you manage in a large classroom? So sometimes we might divide them into groups.
Okay.
So there's this way we have small groups and get 2 or 3 laptops, put them in groups, monitoring that they are not just fascinated about the laptop, but they are learning at the same time.
Wow, that's amazing. Have you ever heard that English language is overrated? Are you of that belief, or are you of that school of thought that English language is overrated?
Well, I wouldn't say English language is overrated. I would say that English language is accommodative. So if other languages that existed before English died because
English came into
limelight. Because today we have our languages in English. Fufu, as fufu, is now in the dictionary, meaning that we can't say English is overrated. I can just say it has a way of just accommodating other languages.
Because of course there are some French words that we now use in English language. There are some German words we now use in English language and all, even Yoruba words.
Thank you. Now I understand the fact that everyone is trying to project and promote their indigenous language. But at the same time, let's not forget that in Nigeria we have quite a number of languages.
Nigeria is a multi-ethnic group. A multi-ethnic kind of country.
So even within my own Yoruba space,
we still have Yoruba Eko, Yoruba Ibadan.
Thank you. So sometimes I feel English has a way of just unifying us. We are not overrating it. We don't expect you to form
accents that you do not have.
Thank you. But speak it in the most simple form that everyone around you can
definitely get the message you're trying to pass across.
That's what we are saying. Thank you.
What do you do for fun? Like, how do you relieve stress?
Okay. I would say as a teacher, I learn. Learning is one of the ways I do relieve stress. I learn via different platforms. Like I said, I am a tech teacher in a way.
Yes.
So I try to learn online most times. Okay. I learn new skills. I remember that I learned animation online. I do animation. Yes, okay. I do animation. I do a bit of coding too at the same time. Yes, but majorly
English teacher turned tech teacher.
Yes. So what stands out for me is my dance. Okay. So I do ballroom, Latin ballroom. So I do the salsa. In a way, I do a bit of cha-cha. I know a bit of merengue. So, see, I believe I try to get the best out of life.
Of course.
Yes, that's the way I keep myself. Then I love movies. So I watch movies a lot. So those are
that was one of your favorite movie of all time?
Oh, John Wick.
John Wick?
Yes.
Okay, I really do not like movies. So, but I've heard
John Wick.
I've heard John Wick. So you're not a fan of all this Prison Break?
I don't do series. Really? Because I really don't have this
time
to stay too long on a series.
That's what pisses me off, because how am I going to watch series 1, 2, please, kilo day?
Yes.
So. Okay, that's good. So we're going to dance salsa today.
No problem.
You're going to teach me how to dance salsa. So What has been one of your proudest moments as a teacher?
Okay.
One of your proudest moments? You say, I look and like, I'm so proud I'm in this field.
Okay, I think one of the proudest moments for me is when I see my students excel.
Not even when you are awarded.
It's my students. It makes me so happy. I remember that recently I trained some of my students for some competitions, and the competition went international, and it was, for me, it brought tears to my eye.
Oh.
And I could also say that another proud moment is when I see myself helping others. It looks absurd that why should helping others make you proud?
Yeah.
I remember that Wema Bank recently celebrated teachers.
Yes.
And the teacher that came first was someone that went through me at the time.
Aww.
I trained her during the induction.
That's really a proud moment.
So when I saw her, it was I was so elated, because I knew that some of the things I told them that day, she picked on it, she worked with it, and produced the necessary results that.
So now let me ask. Okay. Since you were a facilitator during my induction, will you say you're proud of me?
100%. Yes, 100%.
That feels so good. Thank you. Yes. All right. To wrap this up, let me say an intermediate question.
Okay.
I know you have a lot of things up your sleeves. Okay. So tell us one of the things that we should be expecting from you. From now, between now and next 2 3 months, what should we be expecting from you?
Okay, thank you. I have been working on a way in which content coming from the education, space will be more geared towards animation. Because I found out that the kind of students we teach these days, their concentration level is quite
very low.
But I've noticed that quite a number of them love anything animated.
Yes.
And so
they just want to explore.
Yes, we need to begin to shift from the everyday way of teaching,
bombarding them with notes,
and give them a feel of what they would have loved to learn through. Yeah. So I'm working with some set of people, and also at the same time, I'm trying to promote media in schools. For example, in my school now, we started a mini cell radio. I've done that in previous schools that I've worked, where we have it's not a radio station. Okay. So it's a mini cell radio where we teach students the art of broadcasting. Okay. So I think these are many others, are some of the things that
you're working on.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so fingers crossed, because we know that Mr. Babajide is about to blow our minds. So lastly, if there's a teacher that is watching you now, or someone that is just turned in between decisions and just wondering, should I just go for this teaching? They're staring at me in the face. And someone who just came into the teaching, I'm like, I don't know why I'm here. What would you tell the person?
Okay, so let me start like this. I remember many years ago, I'm a Christian, and I got this, that very soon, that education will be the most sought after career in the world. Because whether we like it or not, the sub-African, communities begin to open up more to education. Yeah. Many of the African countries are seeing the benefit of education. And there's a saying that no country can develop beyond the level of its education. Yeah. So I want to say that every teacher, teaching right now, that feels he or she is not being appreciated, or is at this point of breaking and saying, maybe I need to look for another career, should just still hold on tight, because something good is coming. And at the same time, it's very important to know that the more you project your students, the more you project yourself. See, teaching is not just about you. It's about the thousands and millions
of life that is on the line.
Yes, that you are touching in a way. I know I have a student of mine that I met recently. She's now in the agricultural space. Okay. And she was my student when she was in GSS 3. And I can tell you, I'm so proud of her. And I see a lot of them every day. I just see young people on the road, frustrating. And for me,
it feels fulfilling.
fulfilling. I feel so proud. And also, I want to encourage teachers to try to explore. Don't sit down in that classroom and feel that's the end of the world.
Yes.
Yes. There are other things you can do to also
bring yourself
to the limelight.
To the limelight.
Improve yourself, build capacity.
And the world is now very digital, like you said. You can learn a lot of things on Coursera, Udemy, and all of that.
Khan Academy. And so it's very important for teachers to develop capacity. Yeah. You need to develop the children, the students you are teaching, they're also evolving.
Yes.
The more they evolve, the more you also need to also evolve as a teacher. Yes. And I think that's my message to them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Babajide. We are so glad to have you on this show. Thank you for your insight. Thank you for touching lives, because as a matter of fact, you might feel that you have everything, but I just feel that, see, this are reward. As much as we're enjoying, we will be enjoying heaven on earth.
Yes, we should.
We are still going to enjoy. So our children, they're still going to enjoy all of this, because, of course, somebody will just come up like, "Are you the daughter or son of Mr. Babajide?" I'll be like, "Oh yeah, your daddy was this." And before you know it, if you're watching this, the teaching profession is now very lucrative. I am a beneficiary of this. I'm still benefiting. My guest is still benefiting and will continue to benefit. So please, try as much as possible. Be the best you can. See, the sky is so wide for everybody to soar and soar as much as they want to, as far as they want to. So please, don't try to put yourself in that pot or that hole, thinking that it's just to go to class and write lesson notes. Please, the world is evolving. You need to evolve as well. Before we close this episode, let's do a salsa dance and you'll be the judge. Oh, yeah. Forward, backward. Okay.
Same side. Are you ready?
Yes.
Go. Back, forward, back, forward, back to the side. To the front now. To the side now.
Teacher turned salsa dancer. Oh. A round of applause for me. And we've come to the end of this episode. Cut. You're still